a day where you have felt ugly? Yeah, I know, I feel it too. So when I was in I would say 5th and 6th grade, I really struggled with looking at myself as beautiful. I never saw myself as beautiful. So I literally remember going to my computer and looking up how to be pretty. I'm not even kidding. So when I was sitting down a few weeks ago to think about this message, I looked it up on Google. And what I found literally made me tear up, because this is what I told myself. So first off, according to Google, in order for you to be pretty in this world, you have to have it. Hello? You have it. Oh my God. What the heck? You have to have a nice face, okay? That's how you have to be pretty according to the world. You also have to have a nice bod, right? That makes sense. You have to have straight posture. Do I look more beautiful? You have to be perfectly dressed for your body structure, and you have to have perfectly white teeth and a great smile. Oh, and let's not forget about the hair color. If your hair color doesn't match your skin, sorry, you're not beautiful. Listen to this. This is what gets me. If you are average, you can become attractive. If you are ugly, you can become average. But if you are ugly, you can never become attractive. Did y'all catch that? Is that not the worst thing you've ever heard? That is what this world tells young girls, tells us to be. So I'm going to talk about not how to be pretty according to the world, because if you want to be pretty according to the world, just go to Google and it'll tell you. I'm going to talk about how we radiate beauty. So what does that even mean? What does radiate even mean? So radiate means emitting energy in the form of waves. Rays, not waves, sorry. If you know me, I love the sun. I love the sun. The sun is always emitting energy. It's always emitting light into the world. So I thought about that for a second. Radiating beauty, radiating pretty, is emitting rays of beauty in everything you do. Okay, so we're going to talk about tips on how we can radiate beauty. Okay. So tip number one, it's going to come up here soon, hopefully. But tip number one, from what I've learned from being a girl and being a teenager like you guys, what I've learned, you're not going to please the world. And as hard as that sounds, it's the truth. There are going to be boys who are going to tell you, look, I'm not going to date you because you're wearing not cute clothes. There are going to be people who are telling you that you're not beautiful according to them. But here's the thing. You're learning how to radiate beauty. They're trying to be beautiful, which is not everlasting. Radiating pretty is having Jesus inside of you in everything that you do, and that's everlasting. The next tip is you may feel like the only person in the world who is choosing this path. That is something that I've struggled with a lot in my walk of radiating beauty. I feel alone sometimes. I feel ugly sometimes. We all go through it. But here's the thing. You're not. And as cliche as that sounds, you are never alone. God goes before you and He goes behind you. He is here, He is here, He's over there, He's sitting right next to Liv. He's everywhere. You are never alone on this journey, so be still in His presence. Be steadfast on your walk to radiate beauty. Tip number 3, this one's a doozy. Love your body. I have, probably since the day I was born, I have hated on my body. I've called myself fat, I've called myself ugly, I've told myself that I'm not skinny enough or pretty enough or athletic enough, constantly. And you know what that does? Do you know what that did to me? Nothing. It absolutely helped me in no way, shape, or form. It actually caused me to take a step back in my path of radiating beauty. It made me so far inside of myself that I forgot to love the people around me because I was hating myself so much. Guys, your body is yours, nobody else's. And the thing about comparing your body to the girl next to you, it's like comparing apples to oranges to pears to raspberries to every fruit in the world. None of them are alike. You have your own body. That is a temple that God gave you to serve His kingdom. So love it. The next one, our next tip, is embrace your no makeup face. Okay, I have makeup on and I'm wearing a cute outfit just because it's fun. But the definition of Abby Aaron is not wearing makeup or not wearing makeup, wearing Nike shorts or not wearing Nike shorts. You are beautiful in every single way. Darling, there is no flaw in you. So embrace that face. Walk with it confidently. Don't let it be the definition of who you are. Okay, I like this one. Fuel yourself with the 3 F's. Okay, F number 1, that sounds funny, is friends. Okay, what I have learned is that having friends that point you back to Jesus in everything you do is the most important thing you need to radiate beauty. Okay, if you have friends who are constantly pointing you to earthly things and to worldly things that aren't going to last you, you're never going to make it on that path of beauty. You're never going to be able to embody beauty. The next one is family. So, okay, I'm a middle child. Any middle children out there? I feel your pain. It's tough, it's tough. And okay, Claire's back there smiling, I see her, that's my sister. She's my little sister and I have an older brother, Will, so I am a literal middle child. A lot of times, Will come home from college and Claire and Will really like to team up against me because they know exactly how to push my buttons. I kid you not. If you ever want to make me mad, just go ask Claire and Will because they know how to do it. It's true. And so, love you. A lot of times, Will would come home from college and he and Claire would pick on me and they're just trying to be funny, but they really actually kind of upset me. So I kind of go into my room and I get all mad, right? And then Will goes back to college and I saw him for a good 20 minutes. Don't do that. That's just my advice there. And take time to be with your family because after all, they're going to love you more than everybody else is in this world. They're your family. The next F and the last F is food. So I've struggled with food, I would say, most of my life, as well as my body image. Finding food that really makes me feel full, but also tastes good and is semi-healthy for me. You know what I'm saying? Here's what I did last summer. Before I started Project 4031, I went into this time of just self-hate, and I worked out, ate a salad, work out, and wouldn't eat things that actually fueled my body because I thought, every time I eat something, I'm just getting fatter. Y'all felt like that? Yeah? So, something that I really took time to figure out was what's gonna fuel me, still taste good, and is good for my body. So, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm just a teenager who plays volleyball and actually needs to eat food because believe it or not, eating food is good for you. You don't have to eat food or not eat food to be skinny. You can eat food and still be beautiful. So I really love RX bars, if you've had those, and Lara bars, and oatmeal and eggs, things with protein, but guess what I love? Chill or beat. I eat frozen yogurt, and I do eat burgers. I eat things that may not be perfect for your weight and perfect for your body image, but I still eat it. The next tip is flood yourself with Jesus whenever you can. So, those of you who have followed Project may have seen my video this past March. I went through a really hard season of depression. So, if you have followed Project from the beginning, you know that I struggle with anxiety and depression, and I was diagnosed with it in 5th grade. This March was really difficult for me because I had been so busy pouring myself into other people and just giving Jesus and everything that I did to other people, and I felt like I wasn't getting it back. I relied so much on the world and so little on God that it left me in one of my hardest seasons of depression I've ever been in. So what I mean by flood yourself with Jesus, literally flood yourself with Jesus. Listen to worship music in the car. Not the whole time. Go listen to some rap if that's what you like. Listen to podcasts. I drive 45 minutes to volleyball, and I sometimes listen to Sadie Robertson because I love her on podcasts. I have words written on my hands to remind me to look back to Jesus. Flooding myself with Him was a great reminder to go back to the river of Christ because that's never empty. So if you are feeling empty right now, I'm telling you the world is not going to fill you. Jesus is. He is the everlasting God who created you in His image. He's the creator of every beautiful thing, and that includes you. My next tip would be choose a word or phrase. So I'm a huge advocate of writing things down. So I don't know if you guys can really see my hand, but it says, because of the I am, which is God, I can. And the reason why I like this is a lot of times I doubt my ability. Because I'm standing here on stage, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just like, God, you take the wheel, you got this, buddy. Because I'm not qualified, but God qualifies the disqualified. That makes sense. Because of what God did on the cross, I can. And so having this on my hand reminds me that I can do whatever Christ needs me to do. So pick a word, if it's beautiful or loved or adored. If you follow Project 4031, you know that I had keep moving on my hand for a while and no fear on my hand for a while. Now I have a different one, but you can always pick different things. Write it on your mirror. I have adored and a child of the Most High God on my mirror so that when I'm looking at myself, I don't say ugly or fat or not perfect or not beautiful. I look at myself and say, okay, Abby, yes, you are not a supermodel, but you are a daughter of the Most High King, and if you ask me, that's 100 times better than being a supermodel. My next tip would be focus less on yourself and more on the world around you. I think it's really hard in our generation to look up, because my phone's not up here, but a lot of times, okay, I bet a lot of you guys do this, I'm going to get an imitation, okay? Bear with me here, I'm in high heels. You take your phone, you're walking through the school hallway, right? Who does that? It's so true, we all do that. Because you know what the most awkward thing is? When you look up and you see someone you kind of don't really know, and you're just like, you look up and you're like, oh shoot, do I say hi? Do I say hi? Like, what do I do? Okay, who's been there? Who's been there? At the Woodlands, it's like really awkward because the hallways are really long, and it's just a really awkward situation. But I am telling you to look up. You know why? Because not only are you beautiful in your heart, but there is beauty around you. And so if you're so stuck looking at your phone, how are you supposed to see the beauty that God has placed right in front of you? So look up. Focus less on yourself and more on the other people around you. Ask yourself, how can I love more like Jesus? How can I radiate beautifully to these people that I see, these strangers that I see? I know we're not in school right now, but I do it at the mall, walking at the mall. I'm like, I don't want to see anybody. Walking into a restaurant, I don't want to see anybody I know. That's not fun, because you're just like, oh hey, how's it going? Okay. So my challenge for you with that tip would be really push yourself, because you're not going to be able to do it in like one day, because that's hard. But challenge yourself to look up. When you're looking down, just be like, okay, I'm going to look up for 10 seconds today, and each day just like increase it by 10 seconds if you want to. Okay, this one is probably my favorite. Okay, next tip is face the sunshine. Okay, like I said, I love the sun. I also love yellow and sunflowers and anything that is just pretty, you know? And so something that I really like to do, I did this one time at lunch, I don't know if Alexa remembers, I quite literally turned and go like this. And I just let the sun fill me with its warmth. Okay? I know it sounds really silly, but it does a lot to you. I've always connected to God with the sun. Don't really know why, but that's just His way of saying, like, Abby, do this, Abby, do that, Abby, I'm calling you forward. Whatever it is, I just have connected with God through the sun. And so, facing the sun reminds me that I am called to radiate beauty, the same way the sun radiates beauty. And it makes you feel like a flower, so bonus, right? This one I really used during the school year. So the next tip number 10, would be creating a routine so that you don't feel chaotic. So, okay, funny story. Last day of school, I kid you not, I'm not even joking. Last day of school, I usually press snooze on my alarm. I press stop. I woke up at 6:36. I leave my house at 6:40. It takes me a good 20 minutes to get to school. I got out of bed faster than I think I've ever ran in volleyball. Like, I kid you not, I got out so fast. And that made me feel anything but beautiful. When you are so caught up in running the same pace that the world runs, you forget to slow down and to let God move in your life. You forget to slow down and remember that you're called to radiate beauty, to embody beauty. So set a routine. If that means waking up 10 minutes before your alarm goes off, I know, it's rough, it's not easy. But if that means that you need to do that, so that you can spend 10 extra minutes with God, so you can ease into your morning so you feel beautiful, because feeling beautiful, it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling to start your day with, to know that God is inside of me. He's right here next to me. And if that means going to bed 10 minutes earlier, starting your bedtime routine 10 minutes earlier, just so that you can get time with God, create a routine to let Jesus fill you so you can radiate beauty. All right, last but not least, this is my bonus tip. It's not really a tip, it's more of just my closing. Love who God created you to be. Look, I get it. There are so many days where I don't feel beautiful, where I feel anything but loved, when I feel alone and depressed or anxious. I get it, because I'm going through it too. And if there's anything that I can stress to you more, is that the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the greatest God in the entire universe, created you, each and every one of you, in His image. And did you know that He created everything in this world beautifully? And that does, believe it or not, include you. You are beautiful, you are loved, you are cherished, you are adored, you are strong, you are powerful, you are brave. And you are called to be more than what this world is going to call you to be. The standard of pretty that the world wants doesn't last, but radiating beauty does. So right now, I don't really know if y'all are going to like this or not, but stand up. Stand up, please. Right now, we're going to do, not really a pledge, but just, you guys are going to repeat after me, okay? So I'm going to say something and then you're going to say it. Today, I am going to radiate beauty because I am loved by the greatest King in the whole universe. Can I get an amen? Amen. Bye.